Hello, my colleagues. Today we are starting with a case discussion on a very similar topic that you commonly get in your practices, and it's quite worrisome for the parents itself. This video will be helpful not only for my colleagues but also for my parents who are just worried about their kids not achieving their maturity. And I hope you all find this video helpful enough. And if you do so, subscribe to the channel, like it, and please share with the friends and family who may need this video. Let's get started. So first, I as soon as I was out of my exams, I had got a call from one of our known relatives that hey, we just want to meet up and want to discuss about our child. She's not doing well. And I said okay, let's meet up. We finalized a date, we had a sit, and we I'm examined the child. I met her. So basically she was a 10 years old female. The parents had a non-consanguineous marriage. I asked how the child is, like how is she in her eating habits, how is she doing well, is she suffering from any chronic disease. So the parents just, like, first, on the first interaction, they just hesitated and they were like, no, the child is well in food, she eats good food, she has all her healthy habits, her sleep is also healthy. And the parents were worried that the child has not achieved her secondary sexual maturity characters, like she has not developed her breast, she has not achieved her menstrual, that is the menarche, she has not achieved the menstrual cycles. So I was like okay. Then I just went into the depth of the history. Her birth history was fine. She was developmentally normal, achieved all her milestones in time. Her immunization schedule was complete. But upon reaching the family history, the parents said that they had two miscarriages. So that was worrisome. Then I asked whether you had done any, like, then I had asked whether you have done any of the screening test for Torch group of infection, and they said yes. And the mother had rubella. They also had the third child which was born, but it had a very bad an ICU history and an obstetric history, and the child was deceased at third to fourth month. And then they had their elder son, which is 16 years old, and then this female child, that is the 10 years old. Then these two childs were totally fine. By God's grace, they are healthy until now, everything was good. But what worried for these parents was that these is both children are not achieving their secondary sexual characters, and the girl is not achieving her periods. So I know most of my colleagues must be getting similar questions from all the parents, and I know it is very difficult to explain the parents that everything is normal, but how to explain it is also a bit difficult task. So first, what I made them is understand what is her current weight. So her weight was 21.5 kg, and for her expected age the weight had to be 31.9 kg. So she was lying under -2 to -3 standard deviation, and her weight for age was around 7 years. Her chronological age, that as I have already told you, it is 10 years old. And now the height of the child is 132 centimeters, but the expected height for the child is 142.9 centimeters, and she lied in -1 to -2 standard deviation. The father's height was 173.7 centimeters and mother's height was 154.4 centimeters. So what is the mid parental height? That was around 158 centimeters. To know how to calculate the mid parental height, please comment down in this video. The upper segment and the lower segment of the child was around zero point 0.7 is to 1, and the arm span is around 130 centimeter. So the height age of the child is around 8 years. So why I'm saying chronological age, weight age, the height age? As per chronology, like as per her birth, she is 10 years old, but as per her weight, she falls as a 7-year old. As per her height, she falls under 8 years old. So this is a formula that the chronological age is more than the height age, is more than the weight age. So, oh, in this pattern, we have multiple of the formulas that we fit into, whether it's a nutritional or whether she is having any disease. And upon asking in more detail, are you sure that the child is good enough, is she diagnosed with any disease or something like that, then after explaining and getting the parents in confident, when I was explaining their anthropometry of the child, they were like, yes, yes, our daughter was diagnosed with thyroid disease, hypothyroidism. And that time, around April around, they had done the test of uh, it was around, the TSH was very high, that it was more than 100, and the TPO antibodies was around 57, so that was also in a higher range. What they did, they didn't follow up, they didn't took any medication, and in the month of October, the TCH of the child was very high. It was around 22.790, and the T3 and the T4 were a bit normal. But what they did was, in the span, they met few doctors. The doctors had advised them to that the child has to be started on a thyroid tablet daily, early morning, before brushing. And they parents took this tablet, but they gave it in a very infrequent manner. And there comes how, even though the parents are well educated, but they care that these what the thought was there behind the mind, that the child is having thyroid disease, so she'll have many problems in a future life, and we did hesitated like a lot more to start with the tablets. And there was a point to clear them out. Yeah, there might be problems in a future, but what's better is to start the disease cure itself right now. Start with the treatment, get her to the baseline TSH values. Get, I know the achievement of this TSH values to the baseline is very difficult, but at least we can maintain it in a healthy range. So that is what I explained it over here. And then in the month of October, I had just started them on good enough of dosing of Thyronorm. That is, she was taking 75 microgram per day. And after this, around in the month of December, I asked her to just check again your thyroid levels. And that time, surprisingly, what I found was the T3 was 117, that is in a lower range. The T4 was the T4 was around 10, that was normal, and the TSH was also normal, that is 2.4. So in this whole scenario, I just want to explain that what the parents think, that the thyroid is a cause for the child not achieving, is what they didn't understood. They were like, we won't get down on the treatment line, nothing will happen. And what they complained of is the child not achieving a secondary sexual characters. So it's such a bizarre picture, that to explain to the parents that because of this thyroid, she there is a delay in achieving her secondary sexual characters. But is it so? So most of the physicians, what they do is put it on the disease itself. Yeah, because of thyroid, she is not getting her secondary sexual characters, or she is not, there is a delay in achieving. I say yes, thyroid do cause a delay in achieving her growth, in her physical maturity or a physical appearance, or even there might be a delay in getting periods. I do say thyroid diseases do cause, but please do check. The child is just 10 years old, and how can you expect a 10 years child? And here lies the importance of understanding the secondary sexual maturity characters. At what age you have to consider. So 10 years is just the start. The Tanner staging is very important. This is also a message to my fellow resident, that how Tanner staging becomes an important part of your physical examination of a child who is more than 10 years. Be it a male, be it a female, you have to check the Tanner staging. You have to check whether they have achieved, like in males, for example, you have to check whether they have achieved their axillary hairs, how is the penile growth, how is the testicular growth. I know it becomes quite awkward for most of the residents who have just come out and asking the parents that, yeah, take the consent, do it, but like, just don't put it on a disease. So most of the general quacks or everyone, what they do is just put it on a disease. But please make sure that the child, eh, like, just consider the Tanner staging first and then go about it. You just can't go on a step and say, oh, this because of thyroid this is happening, take the tablets, everything will get okay. No, just don't get this into false expertise. Like, just I'm telling you, or even just I'm telling the parents also, like, you have to get down to a good doctor who can make you understand this. And it is very important for the parents to understand that 10 years is not the age that she'll develop her secondary sexual characters, or she'll develop and have her breast development or axillary hair, or be it her hair in the pubic regions, or she's having a menstrual cycle. There is a Tanner staging to it. Go through it, get good expertise on board, let them do the physical examination, in-depth examination. And why I'm saying is, parents must also understand that these Tanner staging and having a assessment of sexual maturity by a pediatrician or by a doctor is very important. This is for my parents, and for my fellows, please don't miss out the Tanner staging in such kids. So in this scenario, what I did is, like, I explained to the parents, see, your child is just 10 years old. It's just the start of a sexual maturity age. Give it a time, give it a span of 2-3 years. She'll automatically develop. In the meantime, she's taking her thyroid tablets every day early in the morning with this prescribed dose and with the prescribed dosing. And her TSH and T3, T4 are maintained in the normal level. And what to do in such a case in a follow up, that every 3 monthly just do a follow up of a thyroid profile. Also, make sure that and when you come into these cases, you also check for other of the endocrinal disorders like diabetes. You check her FBS, PPBS. You also check about the cortisol levels, and you also check the antibodies, just not the TPO antibodies. The thyroglobulin antibodies are also important to the differentiate whether it is a Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or whether it is an autoimmune thyroiditis, or whether it's a goiter, or how whether it's a hypothyroidism or whether it is a hypothyroidism, and at which phase of thyroid and at which phase of cycle where you are stuck in this thyroid disease. It is very important. And I just hope that this video finds to very useful and helpful to my fellow physicians who are practicing out there, that just don't throw it up on a disease, and just is don't say that take this tablets and everything will be okay. Make sure you're doing a very good examination. Physical examinations becomes very important. Do the screening test for SMR, and you get down which Tanner staging she belongs, whether she requires an expert opinion of an endocrinologist. Do suggest them to go for an endocrinological opinion. If you feel something is fishy, her Tanner staging is achieved but she has not achieved her SMR as per the Tanner's teaching, do refer to an expertise and endocrinologist. But it has to be in a very systematic and lined pathway, just not haphazard and blaming it on a disease. I hope you find out this video very helpful. And this was just a part of a case discussion and just an important and something to tell you about my fellow residents who are just coming out of this uh, all residency and just starting with the practice. How important is an SMR? And if you want to know more about SMR, comment SMR in this video, and I'll be happy to make a video on it and share it with you guys. Like this video if you find it very helpful, and also share it with your friends and family who you think that they may need this video. And this is Dr. Himangi Reddy. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.